Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Sanctuary by Gary Svee, narrated by L.J. Ganser and directed by Jeff Barron. This book is copyrighted 1990 by Gary D. Svee. This recording is copyrighted 2005 by Recorded Books. He arrived by train, a tall, slim man in a dark suit and a preacher's collar. But this preacher is no angel of mercy, for he's a dark form of both unholy vengeance and blessed salvation, and God help those who would stand against him. And now, Sanctuary.
Chapter 1. The train was late, but Judd Medicine Elk didn't know that, nor did he care. He had been pulled from his blankets by the cold and the ache in his belly and habit. That was all he needed to know. So he waited, dancing from one foot to the other for warmth and to ease the hunger that coursed from his belly to his brain. Perhaps he would be lucky today. Strangers on the train might give him a nickel or a dime for carrying their luggage from the depot to a waiting buggy or to Sanctuary's only hotel. Perhaps, too, the agent would open the door of a freight car, and he could steal something of value, something he could trade for food for himself and his grandmother. The cold hung on the land like a curse, and Judd tried to chase it away with the magic of his dance. The sole of one shoe, several sizes too big for his 12-year-old foot, was peeled back to the heel, and it slapped first the platform and then his foot, beating a crude cadence. Slap, slap, flop. Slap, slap, flop. The rhythm stirred Judd, and his dance changed tone and tempo. His feet, nerves, muscles, sinews hearing the shuffling steps of moccasined feet on ancient plains. No longer did the men of the Cree tie their bleeding flesh to a pole or a buffalo's skull with skewers and thongs to sacrifice their pain to their god in the thirst dance. Now they danced only when they could find a bottle of whiskey, but still they danced in great pain. Slap, slap, flop. Slap, slap, flop. Judd danced now to thank the Manitou for the threadbare clothing that kept him warm, except when the cruel north wind howled through Sanctuary. He thanked the Cree god for the food he hoped to have today. His grandmother had told him about the Manitou and the Christian god. She had become a Christian when the white man's god had driven the Manitou from the plains. She knew the Cree god had gone away, because he would not have allowed his people to suffer so. But the Christ god seemed uninterested in old Cree women, and now she believed in nothing. Judd prayed to the Manitou because he believed himself to be invisible to the white man's god. Judd believed he was invisible to all white men. Light flooded the railroad station, and Judd froze. If the agent saw the boy waiting on the platform, he would chase him away. The agent stepped out on the platform, and Judd stopped breathing so that the plume that followed his breath into the cold air would not give him away. But the agent was looking down the track. He pulled a gold pocket watch from his vest and read it for the second time in 5 minutes. The watch slipped back into the agent's pocket, and his eyes flicked across the platform, hesitating for no more than a blink on Judd. He shook his head and walked back into the station, shivering. Judd's breath hissed into the air through clenched teeth. Safe. He was still invisible. Sometimes dancing made him visible. The train came sharp, black, and shiny, fleeing a cloud of white steam and coal smoke. It howled then, lonesome as a coyote, and sparks flew from the wheels as the engineer set the brakes. Judd was fascinated by this great beast. He dreamed sometimes of stepping aboard one of the cars and riding it to some place where he had never been, someplace different from where he was. But that was only a dream, and his hunger was a gnawing reality. He shook away the pain in his gut and focused his attention on the train, stepping closer to the engine, closer to the heat and the steam. The redolence of burning coal sifted over the boy, and Judd breathed deeply. Sometimes coal spilled along the track, and he carried it to his grandmother's one-room shanty, where it burned the barrel stove dull red on cold winter days.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?